Many people can relate to being called names or getting picked on in their grade school years. For me, I received a lot of racial slurs and slander. But getting called a terrorist or being told to go bomb a bus were just funny stereotypes to the kids I went to school with. Today, I'm going to try and open your road a little more to the Middle Eastern culture by first describing male and female roles, second, the culture overseas, and finally, to disprove some stereotypes. First, male and female roles differ greatly in the Middle East compared to in the U.S. In the U.S., men and women are near equal and free to do just about whatever they please so long as it's legal. In the Middle East, however, the rules are much stricter and restrict women from doing the same things as men. There isn't that same equality. The women tend to stay at home while the men are out working. Their roles consist of cleaning the house, cooking, taking care of the family, raising the family, those types of jobs, whereas the men are free to go out, do their job, free in public, those kinds of things. If a woman does go in public, she is religiously required to cover all of her body, no skin showing except for the face, mainly the eyes. Whereas the men are free to wear whatever they please. They can wear jeans and a t-shirt or a suit and tie, doesn't matter. My dad visited family recently over in Dubai, and they went out and did all these really cool things. They went into the museum of all these extensive cars. They rode on the dunes. They went into the mall where they have that fake mountain ski resort. They went in there. They did all these things, and it was just guys. It was none of the women. And it's not that it's illegal for them to go, but it is frowned upon. They don't go do these things with the men. They're more into shopping, obviously a typical girl thing, but they aren't so much seen in the public doing these fun adventures that the guys get to do. Here in the US, men and women are near equal and they can go do those things together, and it's not weird, it's not frowned upon, and it's definitely not illegal. Those differences are what separates them. Second, I'm going to cover culture overseas. The Middle Eastern culture is based highly off of Muslim religious reviews, and that's what plays a big role in separating the men and women as well as their day-to-day lives. Although their culture publicly seems strict and really is well reserved, once you enter the family life, not much differs from here in the U.S. In America, family tends to play a big role in people's households and in their day-to-day life. Same goes in the Middle East. In my family, almost everyone lives with my grandparents. They all have the same house. My dad and one of my uncles are the only two that don't live there out of 7. Cultural norms will vary no matter where you go in the world, but when you break it down to the simple things such as your home life and your family, I think that you'll find not much is different. Although the culture is strict in the Middle East, the family is just as loving as any home in the U.S. Finally, I'd like to disprove some stereotypes. One simple stereotype that Middle Easterns seem to face is that everyone has an arranged marriage. That's not true. It is still part of the culture where in some families arranged marriages are set, but it's not in mine. My father denied his arranged marriage to marry my mom, and most of my other uncles and aunts did as well. I know 2 of them have arranged marriages, but it's not a custom that necessarily has to happen. Probably the biggest stereotype that Middle Easterns face, as well as Muslims, is being called a terrorist. Yes, it is true, it was Muslim extremists that flew into the Twin Towers on 9/11, and although that is obviously a very tragic event, that does not mean that every Middle Eastern and every Muslim is one as well. My dad can't go to the airport without being randomly selected for a private screening, and I couldn't make it through middle school without having someone give me a racial slur about being a terrorist. The truth is that there is going to be extremists and terrorists no matter what religion, culture, or part of the world you're in. It's not limited to Middle Easterns or Muslims. That being said, these stereotypes aren't really fair and they should probably stop. So in conclusion, through learning about male and female role differences, Middle Eastern culture, and that most stereotypes in fact are not true, hopefully your views have opened to cultures such as the Middle East. People are people no matter where we come from, and being diverse is what makes the world such a cool place. If you take the time to learn a bit more, you just might be surprised.